This happened a few years ago when Fortnite really started blowing up and everyone was playing it. I played on my PC, and I would play it in my room almost every single night. Mostly it was with my friends, but I also played a lot by myself in solos or duos, and sometimes I would even do squads with random people. This story happened to be a late night when I was playing duos with random people. I started a game with a guy, and everything was normal until my game started to lag when I got near my partner. It was unusual for my game. It usually ran just fine. I noticed that he had a microphone, and I did as well, so I told him that my game was lagging. He replied in a super deep voice, and I honestly didn't hear anything he said because the audio was so weird. His voice was really deep. It sounded like he was using some sort of voice changer, and there was also an echo when he spoke. I ran away from him on the game, and then things started to work well again and stopped lagging. But the weird thing I noticed was every time I went near him in my game, it would start to lag or glitch. He started to talk more throughout the game in the same weird and deep voice. I understood only a few things that he said. At one point, he simply said, "Red shirt." I thought nothing of it until I realized that I happened to be wearing a red shirt. Not my Fortnite character though, but me in real life. This was a little weird, but I figured it was some sort of a coincidence. Overall, this guy was just starting to creep me out as I played with him. I took a look at his username to tell one of my friends about the strange guy I was playing with, but then I noticed something. At first glance, the username just looked like random letters. But when I looked closer at the name, I realized that it was my real first and last name spelled completely backwards. I noticed it because of a weird letter combination I had in my last name. Now I was officially creeped out. I decided to ask the man on the headset who he really was, but just as I started asking him, my computer suddenly crashed. I was startled, and I decided to just leave my computer off for the night. I didn't play Fortnite for a while after that. A few weeks ago, I was playing Fortnite by myself in my room. I live alone, and at the time, I'd been playing Fortnite for several hours already. Fortnite is one of my favorite games to play, along with Call of Duty for my Xbox. I don't know what exact time it was, but I'm guessing it was close to midnight. I was playing with my headphones in, but I thought I heard what sounded like a knock coming from my window. It freaked me out a little bit. I turned around and looked, but I had my blinds covering most of my window, so I could only see out of a tiny part. I went over and lifted the blinds to look around outside. There was a bush that was kinda next to my window, but I didn't really think it could have made the noise. But as I looked around the yard, I couldn't see anyone. It was very dark and quiet out at this time. I figured it had to be just a bug flying into the window, so I went back to playing Fortnite. About 15 minutes later, I heard another noise. It was a louder knock, but not on my bedroom window. It sounded like it was coming from a window at the back of my house. I have a pretty small house, so I can hear noises from just about every room if it's loud enough. Now I was very concerned. I got up and slowly opened the door to my room. All the lights to my house were off because I was planning to just play Fortnite until I got tired and go to sleep. I went down my hall to an angle that I could see my back window at. When I looked, I couldn't really see anything. I flicked on the hall light and then turned on every single light in the house. I hoped if anyone was there, they would get off my property after seeing I was home. I didn't hear any noises for a while after that, so I decided to just try to go to bed. I turned my light off and got in bed. As I laid down, I closed my eyes to try to fall asleep. I was slightly paranoid from the noises I had heard, but I told myself it would be just fine. I was laying facing my window and suddenly saw a shadow on the other side of my blinds. I slowly moved my blinds to make sure it was nothing, but when I did, I saw a hand grab the ledge of my window. I thought I was going to have a heart attack in that moment. I jumped up and out of bed and turned the light back on to my room. Then I screamed at the top of my lungs that I was calling the police. I then heard some noise from my front yard of possibly someone running. I sat in my room looking around for what had to be an hour. I didn't actually call the police, but I told myself if I saw or heard anything more that I would. I ended up staying up literally all night. I think I was able to prevent a possible break-in, and I really hope whoever that was doesn't come back. I just recently graduated from college, and this is a story of what took place a couple of years ago. I had a PlayStation 4 that I shared with my older brother at my parents' house. We played it quite a bit, and I had it in my bedroom, which was in the basement. My brother and I basically had the whole basement to ourselves, and after my first year of college, he ended up getting a job and moving away, leaving the basement all to myself. It was pretty nice, but I ended up not bringing my PS4 to college because I was really busy and I knew it would distract me a lot. When I did play on my PlayStation, I would play Fortnite a lot with my friends. One day in May, when the school year was just about over, I got a text message from my friend Jake asking me if I was back from school. I told him no, and he responded by saying he saw I had been playing Fortnite the night before. We were PlayStation friends, so we could see when I was playing certain games. This confused me because I wasn't back yet. I realized my brother must have come back home and played on my account, so that's what I told Jake. Several days later, though, I was done with school, and I drove the 3 hours back home to my parents' house. When I got to my bedroom to unpack my stuff, I saw that my room was a little messy and some things were out of order. I texted my brother, giving him a hard time for leaving the bedroom a mess. He responded by telling me he hadn't been home recently. I asked my parents about it, and they said they hadn't even been in my bedroom in a few weeks. When they said that, I suddenly got a little creeped out. I went back to my room and looked around silently. I knew things just weren't how I left them. I walked out of the room to the bathroom down the hall. As I was in there, I knew I heard the distinct noise of my closet door to my bedroom being opened. I ran to the bathroom door and locked it. Thankfully, I had my phone in my pocket, and I used it to text my parents who were upstairs that someone was definitely in my bedroom. Just a few moments later, I heard the doorknob to the bathroom turn until the lock stopped it. At that point, I texted my parents to call the police. I could feel that there was someone right on the other side of the bathroom door. They weren't making any noise, but neither was I. I didn't know who it could possibly be or if they were dangerous. I sat there hoping that they wouldn't try to break the door down and waiting for the police to come. I was expecting whoever it was to walk away or to try to get in the bathroom once again or do anything, but they didn't. They just stood there silently. At one point, I thought they had walked away, until I looked under the crack of the bathroom door and could just barely see their feet still there. Finally, after what felt like forever, I heard noises from upstairs, followed by someone shouting police. After some time, I was told it was safe to come out, and saw them leading away a skinny-looking guy who appeared to be pretty young. They had found a man who had somehow gotten into our house and had been basically living in my room for 2 weeks.